I'm Alex, guitar and vocals.
I'm Slider and I play bass.
I'm Eddie and I play drums and somewhat backup vocals.
And you guys are Lakuna. Okay, rad.
Lakuna, from Southern California, and I always jumble my words whenever I try to describe us, but what would you say?
I guess I would say that we definitely, fall in on a very broad spectrum. I guess you can say that we fall into like the punk or maybe post-hardcore genre. Even though I think the three of us know, and the people who do listen to us know, that it's quite more than that. A lot of it comes down into
Is it love?
how
Lust? Is it
uh,
world?
I don't know. Kind of, I guess the root of it starts from maybe not liking a situation that you're in, or like a situation that you wanting to do, be in a better place. I guess that, and I guess in the lyrics when we started writing that was kind of the motive, like kind of conflict of interest, wanting what's best for you, but at the same time not really knowing where to start, or not really knowing if you should make that next move.
Yeah, I think that's what's cool about conflict of interest, is that, let's say it was about love. It's not about love. It's about like what comes after it. And then if it's about lust, it's what comes after lust. It's kind of like the aftermath of whatever emotion you can put into it.
It's like
Thanks.
you expect something to drop or to hit you, and then it does.
Okay.
So it's like, who's behind that?
I'd say like 80% of it has to do with when Alex decided to come in with a riff, and they're so like they're already pretty good about having that being structured before we even go into sparking jams off each other.
Yeah. Typically, I guess conflict, it was a little bit different in the sense that like we were actually all able to just write together. Like we had a lot of time in our hands at the time, so we were able to just sit in a room and just write all the songs together and really understand each structure. So we had to go over those songs so many times just to to the point where we got sick of them, and then
Yeah.
and then when we recorded them, we're like, oh, we love these again. But then, so with practice and all that, just it gives you a better understanding of like you have to understand the song, and it just becomes like you learn it by heart. And
Yeah.
but in terms of the writing and who does the structuring, in the beginning, like I said, usually like not every song, because it depends on everything, but let's say half of the time I'll come through with a riff and have some sort of structure, and then come through with the band, and we'll kind of work off that structure. But then I want to hear their input as well.
Yeah.
Because the band is not just one of us. It's not just, no, yeah, it's the three of us. The three of us are what make this band. So, usually I'll come through with a riff, and we'll structure it, and then from there, I didn't even notice that. Well, the three, and then once I show the song to the two of them, we'll jam it out. Then we really kind of say like, okay, everything's good on this song except what this part could be better, or what can we do?
And then you just tweak it. Sorry.
Yeah, we just tweak it, and then from there on out we decide, okay, are we gonna use this or not? And that's how conflict is decided.
I feel like Observant would probably have the most, it'll get the crowd moving for sure, but I feel like when I see a crowd that doesn't move, I just like go in and just, fuck the crowd up. I just push everyone, just to get it moving.
Yeah.
So I feel like Observant's always that song where I just go in and just like push everyone. And that usually gets it going.
Yeah. Like even if we start with it, Slider won't care, and he'll push himself into a crowd and stuff.
Yeah.
And it really sets the vibe.
Yeah, but
Energy goes up from there.
yeah,
straight up.
It varies song by song, because sometimes we'll play in crowds where some people like Poor Terms better, or some people like Observant or Charm, or it doesn't really matter. But I feel like lately, the past couple shows, Poor Terms has been getting a lot of attention.
Mhm.
It's the last song of the album.
Which
It's
one?
like
Sorry.
Poor Terms. Yeah, that one has been. I know the last show we did and the show before that, they did get a good amount of attention. The kickoff was pretty fun.
Where was that?
In Pomona, actually, it was here. It was the first time we ever hosted our own show. We headlined, we ran it, we basically, yeah, we were the ones that ran that show, and it was cool because I didn't really know what the outcome was gonna be. I was like, okay, we're gonna host a show. We know we can do it, but how are we gonna get there? And like, or not how are we gonna get there, but like, what is the outcome gonna be? And it ended up being a lot better than I had expected.
How so? Like, describe the crowd.
A lot of people showed up. There was,
Give me a number, like over 50.
Yeah.
I would say
Wow.
they're about
And what was the pit like?
It was
open.
pretty insane.
It was pretty intense.
I just saw like
Lord.
cornered and then a circle and then just people in the back. Like so. Oh shit! My
Some
foot
guy
fell
jumped
asleep.
off the roof.
Oh yeah.
You guys just said it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right,
Twice.
Twice.
Actually.
Yeah.
So
Like-
describe how that would happen. Like,
What song was it doing?
how do you do like and then
Observant or
Observant?
no?
What?
Yeah.
The new one.
He climbed on the shed and he just
Oh.
jumped off. I was like, and like I saw it from the corner of my eye and I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
So then, like, I was like, after that point, I was a little more on guard. So like, I was looking up more again, and I see him do it again. This dude definitely rolled his ankle or something.
Mm-hmm.
He ate it.
so what was the venue again?
It's a place called the Avenue. It's actually our friend Johnny's little yard in
And it was the first show.
Mm-hmm.
the first show of the tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
This had a good vibe for the tour.
yeah. I guess outside of where we're from, Portland was also a lot of fun because we knew nobody in that area, and the people who were in there, the people who did stay, they really liked us. And you know, any time that we get to play in front of people that we don't know and they end up liking us is always a good thing.
It was Portland, yeah. Yeah, that was probably our favorite city as well. Just like outside of the show, like the show was amazing, the people are amazing, and we just had a really fun time there, like with ourselves. We got to stay in a hotel for 2 nights there, and it just really it really felt like home. Not to mention there was like a really great Mexican restaurant across the street that was open for 24 hours.
Shout out to Muchas
Muchas
Gracias.
gracias. Exactly, and yeah, whatever we did, we were able to walk there and get some munchies. That gets me thinking. No, that's good. I don't know. What first comes to my mind is like how much freedom I felt like I had. Like it just didn't feel like I was in California or in any other state really. It just kind of felt like I was kind of gone from our normal like circle day-to-day basis, it was really great. Tour definitely isn't a vacation, but we got to feel some sort of freedom in there, and some of our stops were really comforting with some friends that we have around the country. But
As far as learning.
as far as like a moral lesson, something like that, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I would say that what would feel more like home is
No, like a lesson that tour like made us learn.
What did you learn this tour?
well, what I learned from tour is that I don't know, cause like I didn't really think about this. What I learned from tour. That's interesting.
Have a schedule, I guess, like with drivers and sleepers.
Oh,
That's
I
a
know.
good idea.
Organize. Be
That's
organized.
just literally what he just said.
It's good to keep the van clean. That's a really big one.
Yeah.
You read the back because hygiene is important, right?
Hygiene's important, but especially when you're rushing to a show and the drumsticks are in the front seat and the whole rest of the kit's in the back or in the trailer, you got to move stuff out. It becomes a mess. So organization is generally what it showed us.
Tell the people, how does that feel?
It feels great because had we not put out Conflict, we wouldn't have been able to, or had not even just Conflict, but just being a band, we wouldn't have been able to tour. Because
Yeah.
without that, then we had no reason to go out there. But we went out there with a purpose, and I think that's good enough.
I think communication wise, like we did really good on tour. It was fun. Like generally speaking, there were really no problems like as far as like financial issues or like any breakdowns with the van. We did have we did have one show where it fell through the roof, but
Which one was that?
Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara, yeah. It was supposed to be a house. It's supposed to be a house party.
So it's if you know if you're watching this and you don't really know Santa Barbara and like slash Isla Vista and Goleta, it's a big college community town slash
Party
city.
city.
Raver
Yeah.
Town.
Yeah, like anyone there is definitely like under 25, like or 30 at least. But it's a big beach city. Everyone's riding around scooters or longboards and bikes, and just there's bars everywhere.
It's just a
drugs.
stereotypical beach city.
It's
That's-
fun.
that's
There's
all.
a lot of nice people. That week was what holiday was it? Or
Spring break.
oh, spring break. So instead of people being there, you know, no one really wants to be in their college town in spring break. They want to go to Miami or at least go back to see their family because they have the chance. So almost everyone was gone, and the house party that was supposed to happen was like really dead, and it was just a really weird vibe at house.
Mm-hmm.
No power.
I really thought you were going to talk about.
There was a shaman.
Oh yeah, the house he's supposed to play at. There was just a full ass shaman there.
It was
Was he
like,
in a robe?
Yes.
yeah, he was
Yes.
in a robe. He had a
With
stick.
like the shoulder off. It was amazing.
I still think we have a long way to go. I'm really happy that we are able to gain a following with what we're doing. Because in my mind, even though we feel like we've we've done a tour, we've already released 2 EPs. We still have a lot to do, but I feel like right now we're building our foundation. So like when, for as long as we just keep doing what we're doing and just showing that, like just writing what we're writing and people keep following what we're doing and liking what we're making, we're gonna be just fine. Yeah, and however big Lakuna will end up, I mean, if people like what we're listening to, I'm happy.
Yeah, like we've seen where our first EP took us, and then our second one, and I just want to keep it going, and wherever it takes us, I just want to keep pushing harder with each and every release. Just as a goal in general, I do want to, like with the help of with the what's it called, the outreach we get as a band, I want to be able to create a better community. Not that anything's bad with any scenes that like we're a part of, but that's also a thing. There's a stigma, and I don't want to stick to one thing or say we're a part of one thing. We've always had like this kind of desire to let like the IE scene grow, and we didn't realize like how much we could help with that until like we played Rialto again after like not playing it for a while and being in Orange County for a while. And there was a lot of people that came out, like a lot, and they were screaming our lyrics.
So tell us about that. That was at Rialto High.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Even Rialto High. But even including house shows as well in Rialto.
Because for a while, a lot of people in the scene in IE, there's always that stigma like, oh, there isn't anything in IE, or people outside of IE, they're like, oh, there's shit there, just shitty house shows, and that they're not wrong, but at the same time, I do think that what. What happened? Oh, okay. Yeah, just when we started Lakuna, and when the IE scene kind of wasn't one, and if there was, it was just kind of like just a few guys getting together and just getting passed out drunk, and that's pretty much the night. But
That's true.
yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately that was the case a couple of years back
What kind
when.
of beer do you think they would be drinking?
Rolling Rowgh.
Mickey's and Rolling Rowgh. That's like the quintessential like malt liquor for IE
Yeah.
shows. Yeah. Doesn't really matter who's playing. You're gonna see a fucking box of Rolling Rowgh just
Crushed
crushed
Rolling
on the floor,
Rowgh.
crushed in dirt.
the thing about the IE scene, like if as I said before, like if you don't know, it was thriving for a long time, and
Vertigo
it was,
Volumes.
yeah,
Sith
Vertigo
shows.
Volumes, Sith shows. There's a lot of media outlets for it, and like Clash City Studios, this place in Riverside that eventually got shut down. There was always this one house on Laurel Avenue in Pomona that one also just stopped doing shows. There was a lot of just birthday party shows that would get really really lit. But the Red Pears, Beach Bums, High Curbs,
Yeah.
all those bands like really made a name for the Inland Empire,
Yeah.
and it was fun. Like
And now
every
they're
weekend.
playing. Now they're packing Observatory. They're
Yeah.
like if Red Pears at Observatory, like will pack the place.
I think
Anytime they play around our area.
they just got on Coachella, I believe,
So
last year.
tell me about the role you guys are playing in reviving that.
I feel like
How does that feel?
for a while we tried to avoid it because, well, not avoid it, but just we always thought like there's nothing
There's
there.
not a place for us.
So like
Yeah.
we have to migrate somewhere else where the scene is more thriving, such as like OC or LA, and those two places they have their scene and that's perfectly fine, but rather than, I guess we just kind of didn't really tell ourselves it, but once we came to terms with it, we were like, hey, we did a couple IE shows and we just thought like, hey, you know what, people like us here and people are willing to come out for us despite of what area we're from. So rather than trying to avoid or try to like, I mean, yes, play the other areas as well because it's more exposure in the end, yeah. But at the same time, I guess it comes back to that old saying, like, don't forget where you came from. I just feel like that kind of falls into place here because now we have done a couple IE shows, and since there really isn't like an established venue, they've been house shows, which is fine. I mean, because people are liking what we're doing, and it's good that we're able to kind of bring it back somewhat, and it's definitely evolved. Like some of the bands that are out there right now, like in IE scene, like Eras and was the other one like
My,
those
yeah.
bands, like there's definitely a lot of
Shout out to them.
yeah, they're a beautiful band. They're beautiful bands, but yeah, no, it's really good that
MAI.
it's really good that we're able to see not just typical like backyard show bands, like I mean yeah, if you want to do it to have fun, that's cool, but there's some real talent that's coming out from the areas that we're from, and we just want to embrace that, just like showcase that. Writing and recording.
Yeah.
In less than a month, we'll be doing something. I don't know if you guys want to say anything else, but
We're going to the studio. To just put it like in a flat, like I guess just say it. We'll definitely have some new stuff out by fall, definitely.
and we're getting pretty twisty with it. I mean, we've never really put ourselves in boundaries before, but after having like a base and a foundation with a conflict of interest and getting like a lot more supporters and listeners, and with all the feedback included, it's nice to be able to receive feedback that lets us be comfortable with more comfortable with writing, and I think with this new stuff, it's gonna be pretty cool. I like the twist that we did on it.